Okay. Looks like we're good to go. Alrighty. Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 325, the top 5 annoyingly sexist cinematic tropes. Now, in case this guy's face on the screen does not seem familiar to you, this is one of the guys we've covered at least 2 or 3 times. And famously from his Jurassic Park video, oh my God, that was seriously one of the craziest things we've heard on the Smudcast. I can't remember what number it was, but that's when Dunn actually.
It's a high bar.
I don't know. It was not. It was so memorable. I don't remember the dates. It's amazing. So
I must have missed that Jurassic Park thing. I think I remember the guy. I don't think I was on for the Jurassic Park thing.
Right. So
I'm just saying that saying the craziest thing on Smudcast. That's a very high bar.
Oh yeah,
to get
I know.
over.
This was like Maggie Mayfish's bonkers, but this guy was reading an actual review of another fellow's analysis or critique of Jurassic Park, and he had a bunch of other film critiques, I think, in this book he published, and it was insane. It was absolutely insane. And I know you could use different lenses to look at media, as we do with history and politics and feminism. That's pretty standard stuff. At least when I was studying it, it wasn't a big deal. It was just, here's a lens. Use all the things that pick up this through this lens and talk about it. That's about it. These guys interpret it as if this is the point of the film. This is everything, and this is an analogy for transhumanistic female superiority or something. You're like, what?
What?
Jurassic Park is not about those things. It has some frogs that use some frog DNA to turn some of the dinosaurs into males, so they procreate, and that's why there's more dinosaurs than they thought. That's it. There's nothing else. So that was a wild ride.
Damn.
Anyway, this
I have
video.
to find that. That sounds really funny.
It was like Saurian Cinema or something like that. I can't remember the title of it. It was just some bizarre title he used. So, anyway,
oh man, I hope Dunn comes on so he can tell us about it.
then we'll certainly give a good few minutes talking about that. He loved that episode. He bought the book. I think he covered it. I think he read it on his channel. I don't even know. I think he was so.
He bought a book of
Oh,
this
did he?
Yeah, no,
damn.
it was nuts. Like, it was totally crazy. He had to buy that book. So anyway,
If people like that are selling books, why am I not writing?
Right.
Because you have accountability and intelligence. That's why.
Integrity too, right?
Integrity is part of that, I'm sure. Once you're intelligent, it's like, you've established a hierarchy of information that you say, this is the good stuff, and this stuff we throw away, and there's a lot to throw away, and you think that what you know means very little, or it's insignificant compared to like other people who've come before you, and you're like, Immanuel Kant figured half this stuff out anyway. I don't have to talk about it, and that's sort of
Damn
mentality.
compliments.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Even when I'm studying philosophy or writing aesthetics or metaphysics, I'm like, you know what? I'm just learning everything from other greater men that have come before me. So what's the point? But you do have your own take on things. And that's why you write them down.
I'd rather phrase it another way. That all these people had ideas that you can have too, but it would be a waste of your time to wait until you rediscover them. Because you can't come up with all of the ideas that all the people before you have put out already. Like, there can be even if you never read Nietzsche, you can come up with the same metaphors as he did, about the same epiphanies. It just takes an excruciating hell to go through.
Oh yeah. It's kind of strange how you learn how these guys lived their lives and what they did during their childhood and their later years. And like Descartes was just in bed most of the time. Immanuel Kant was walking every morning at the same time, every single day, the same street, no matter what season it was. The breakfasts they had, all these odd behaviors they did. These eclectic fellows, and some of them weren't that eclectic. Some of them were just gentlemen, just guys.
Nietzsche was constantly sick and in pain.
And drinking milk.
It kind of helps.
Yeah, what was up with the milk? I don't understand. But that's Nietzsche for you.
Die schwarze Milch der Frühe?
I don't know. No. I guess the rye bread
That's a German joke.
was too rich, and he had to have some milk with it. I have no idea. I always have beer with my rye bread, but I guess milk works too. So anyway, a little bit of information on this video. It is 7 years old. Came out in January 2014. It has 1.2 million views. And
wow!
This is from a channel that's not even 140K subs. So you can imagine how small it was 7 years ago. So this guy
that must have really done something to him.
Well, you have to think 7 years ago was when all that crap with Anita Sarkeesian and all this other bullshit with feminism and video games, and here you have this guy who is he's totally a feminist. Like, he will never shut up about feminism.
He looks like he's about to rape me, so he might be a feminist. Yes.
Oh. Well, it's so I don't mind people complaining about tropes, because we do that all the time. I do that with fantasy books. I do that with all kinds of science fiction. It's like,
I'm just saying that here on the thumbnail, that's the face of, I held the door open for you. Why don't you let me fuck you?
Oh, Wisp, what memories are you pulling in right now? How does that work?
I was in a party that was overrun by SJWs, the nice guy, feminist, rapey guys. There were a lot. Those guys were around.
Okay, all right.
God! And the borderline women and male feminists, all the numbers increasing, and I cannot believe that these people naturally reproduce. It must be mitosis or something.
Well, the actual films I believe
some cordyceps thing
he's covering are Bridesmaids and Pitch Perfect. I assume. I haven't watched much of the video, so it's only 7
I've seen
minutes.
These movies. By the way, they're written by females, so
yeah, I know.
I don't know how it's sexist, but okay.
Well, I mean, you can't have internalized hatred of yourself and therefore women as a whole, because that's totally a thing. You can hate. You can hate the entire species of women. It's just a thing you can do.
Species.
Yeah, it's
because they're from Venus.
You can do this. You can.
Well, Bridesmaid. Maybe I've only watched it once. Pitch Perfect is just college singing movie that just we got to win the competition. That's about it. I'm not sure where the sexism comes in.
When I think of musicals or musical movies, I just think of stage productions. So you sort of suspend a lot of concepts and storytelling, because the focus is the music. The focus is to tell a story through music, or using music as a method to convey emotions or ideas. So that is the focus. So you can break a lot of ideas that you have of what a story is, how stories progress, how characters should exist. That's fine. I don't care. That's the point. It's like if you want to tell a story about a guy's, I don't know, blowing off zombie heads, it's like, okay, that's the focus of the story. Then we can forgive a lot of the dumb shit that happens along the way just to get to the point where you start blowing away zombies. So that's the understood idea of these patterns, of these stories, the nature of the genre. And this guy obviously doesn't like a few, and that's totally cool. I can totally relate to disliking an entire genre because of the repetitive patterns in it. There's nothing new. It's always this and that. And I read them every day. I read manga every day. Sometimes I read some fiction from Western authors, and you see the same patterns. Like, yep, it's just because it's manga, because there's so much and it's so cheap. You can get so much of it on your hands that you can say, oh, it's another video game world with the goddess that is causing a dead person to be revived into a noble's body, and it has a gorgeous blonde, big titty elf chick who's going to raise him, and he has a gift to use magic that no one else has ever seen for thousands of years in this medieval magical world. Like, that's every goddamn isekai I've ever read. So...
Yep, 99% of them.
You get used to it.
It's like soap opera genre. That's for one specific audience.
Yeah.
And it's always the same crap.
Watch any soap opera from the 90s, even the 80s. There's always a rich family, and there's always a guy who was the bad boy who came into the family, and they got married and they had kids, and now he's a noble bad boy or something. He's very practical and down to earth, but he's also filthy rich. And then he cheated on his wife, and there's a big fight, and it's like this every soap opera, every American soap
character
opera.
Falls into coma. Character has evil twin pop up. Turns out original character is evil twins.
that's a whole other level of that does sometimes happen.
But that's also soap opera stuff.
Yeah,
and even in that vein, I found J dramas, which are the anime the live action version of what I don't know how to phrase this. So anime is usually a self-contained story within a season or two. Soap operas are endless, just like most things done in the West, like until it doesn't make money anymore. J-dramas are like anime, contain stories with a season, maybe 2 seasons. Sometimes they're longer running. Trick is one of those. Which is essentially Scooby-Doo without the dogs, without Shaggy and all the other annoying nonsense. But you have a mystery to solve. There's usually a magic trick. And essentially these go by a lot of the soap opera rules, but not the general tropes you see in the West with all the, as you said, the rich family, etc., etc. But it comes across a lot like it. and where do I want to go with this? I'm sorry. It's been it's been a very long 3 days for me. Sorry.
There's lots of soap operas in almost every culture I could think of, and my uncle used to love watching the was it the Argentinian ones? I don't know why, but they come out with a new one every season, and he'd be crying at WWE as well, but he was the kind of guy who would just get into those stories, and for an old barber, it's kind of a weird thing to admit to, but that's the kind of guy he was. So he loved all those stories with the mafia and who knows, some arranged marriages and all this crap. It's like, oh my god, so weird stuff. Anyway,
but I can tell you there are some bearable, interesting live action J dramas that are fun to watch. The Trick is one of them, and they all seem to have the same actors. That's interesting. So it's like having the same voice actors in every other anime, but you have the actual same actors playing different characters in different shows, which I also find more interesting than what the West is doing, where it's always the same actor for the technically same character, just in another show. So Trick is one of them. I think there was one, I don't actually remember the name, some Dragon School something. The story was could have been an anime, could have been a manga. I think maybe it was based on a manga.
See, that's why I'm impressed by the Star Trek people in the West, because they went into voice acting, whereas the actual actors on soap operas in the West, maybe they were making too much money. I don't know. They didn't have to go into voice acting, but because it's so cheap and easy to make in certain other parts of the world, they can lend their talents into other things, which I think is great. So anyway, let's get to the donations and super chats, and we'll start the video. It won't take long, depending on how crazy he sounds, but we might even agree with him. We don't know yet. We'll find out. Here is Kyle Rocket. I can't tell if there's a less boyish Shane Dawson, younger Steve from Blue's Clues Fusion, or a non-emo version of Onision I'm looking at.
Ooh. Is that better or worse?
I don't think either of those are good.
Yes.
Those are all bad. Here's Joe Crazy. Wisp, why you gotta diss my boy Scooby like that? Oh.
Because Scrappy happened.
Oh. All right. We can start. 7 minutes. Here we go.
So a trope is an archetype, a cliche, a storytelling shortcut, something that the audience...
No, it's a pattern. It's just a pattern. It's not a cliche.
What did he say? I zoned out for a moment
let's start this
ingesting caffeine.
Yeah, let's start this again.
So a trope is an archetype, a cliche, a storytelling shortcut, something that the audience is used to that storytellers can use to help further along a story.
Okay, see, the last part...
How they used to it.
Yeah, the last part makes sense. The more genres you read, the more books of a certain genre you read, you see patterns.
It's elements. It's just elements used, and that can be. I think it's most dominant. I know I bring this up a couple of times. This is most dominant in fetish genres, where these very tropes are the key focus of the story. That the story is working towards, then maybe fizzling out afterwards. That's just, which is just a special implementation or variant of these things. But that's like when we talk about isekai with video game world, that is the popular trope of the isekai genre right now. That's all it is, and that's usually in the beginning, for the setup, and you can do anything else in that genre as well.
Yeah, it depends what the author wants to do with their imagination. Like, do they want to focus on the game mechanics? Do they want to focus on the plight of the individual? Do they want to focus on the characters and their relationship? Like, there's so many things to focus on, whether it's an action adventure, romance, or comedy, or horror, or revenge. It's all dependent on what the author wants to do. And some stories just aren't even stories. They're just a guy building shit. And I'm going to build a room to this other room, and now we have a bigger house. I'm going to go chop some trees. And you're like, okay, that's the story.
This is when he especially here, he's talking about tropes as these very specific kind of things that are put as elements into a story.
Some tropes are stereotypes. Not just a general genre. Some tropes use archetypes, but they aren't themselves archetypes. That's a strange way. I've never heard of archetypical stories.
Aside from the word archetype, I would agree with him here. Okay. I think that's the only word that's really standing out.
Yeah. Here's Cyric. Hey, quintessential quintuplets. I love that one. Turning tropes on their head because a mangaka knows his stuff and can break the tropes of his art to trick the audience.
To break a trope, you first need to master it, like everything else.
I don't know if
you first need to understand what you're doing.
I don't know if the guy actually did that. The whole premise of this thing was we don't know who he's going to marry, because it starts off at his marriage, and you don't see who's going to get married, and all of a sudden it jumps all the way back to the past, where he meets these 5 girls rather, that he has to teach. And we go through the manga and all the permutations of who he likes, because they all have to fall in love with him in some capacity, not head over heels or this or that. And it ends up falling back on the trope of this was a thing we did when we were kids, and he had to remember that or reminisce about that, and all the weirdness that came about by teaching these girls how to pass high school, because they were kind of troublemakers and weren't dedicated to their school studies because they were rich and they had their own weird mentality of what life was. So when you have this poor kid who's really striving hard to make something of his life, they see him as the last resort to help these girls get back on their feet and pass their high school and go on with life. So interesting coming of age story, really adorable and very Japanese. So good stuff. All right.
Today we're going to 5 most annoyingly sexist tropes in Hollywood today. Number 5, the very obvious hotness gap for on-screen couples.
What?
The very obvious hotness gap. Okay, all right. So he's talking about a really attractive woman and a really unattractive man, I think.
Probably not the other way around.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, generally females are...
Dunn, where are you?
Are you in a straw?
Dunn, are you in the airplane?
Are you in a sewer?
I mean, is it better?
Wind canal?
No, it's fan. I can turn off the fan, and if need be.
Oh, it's a fan. That was an airplane handle.
Nice, because I would have to leave in 5 minutes.
Oh.
Someone's in a dentist office.
What?
Someone's getting their that vacuum suck thing you put it in your mouth when you're in the dentist. That's what it sounds like.
Not wrong.
There we go. It's
Okay.
gone.
Hello.
Hello.
The microphone is too good.
Oh, really? Huh. Interesting.
So we don't know what the trope is yet. I'm
where
gonna
we-
go search that right now. Hotness.
All right, the hotness gap. Yeah. I don't know. It happens in real life a lot.
Okay, so it's called ugly guy, hot wife. That's the trope.
Yeah, but it happens in both directions.
Yes.
In real life, it happens in
Yeah,
both directions.
it
I've seen it
does.
numerous times.
Yeah, and honestly, like I grew up with like this family where this kind of pudgy guy was married to a lady who's like extremely attractive, and it just happens all the time. So
Yeah.
I think also like the standard of attractiveness is higher for ladies in Hollywood than it is for guys. Guys, you kind of can coast off of your charisma a little bit.
Right. And that's why you see a lot of rich millionaires and billionaires with extremely feminine, super attractive wives. Because they demand certain standards with this prestige for whatever reason. So we can understand it from a woman's perspective. We can't understand it from a male's perspective because a male's has visuals and certain standards to. Well, I think women have standards as well, just not as much focused on the visuals as it is the financials, the socials, and the social standing as well. Yeah, that would be another part of it too. So anyway, we can explain it. I'm not too offended by it. It is kind of funny to see, but at the same time, it's also sometimes charming when you have a woman or a man, depending on their level of attraction, be attracted to a lesser attractive partner. There is a certain sort of unique relationship going on there, and you're like, why is that? How did that happen? This is a sort of an elephant in the room moment. You're like, what's going on there? And the story needs to address it at a certain point. Like there's always, I don't know about you, but I read a lot of murder mysteries, so there's usually the older female who's not unattractive, but she's way past her prime. And there's the younger, very attractive male. And they're sort of a couple, if not married. And that's very common in these sort of murder mysteries I read. So it's like, how did this happen? Like, what's going on there? And it's just because she's such a free spirit and mature and knows how to attract these sorts of guys. And the guy doesn't give a crap. He's like, I'm having fun. It's great. So it depends on the personality. It depends on a lot of social things. And it's not unheard of. But yes, it is something that should be addressed in a story and addressed properly. Like anything in storytelling, you got to build it up. You got to make sense of it. So you can use these patterns.
The guy on the right is what's his name? Kevin Smith?
Kevin James.
Yeah,
Kevin James.
Kevin
thank you.
James.
Yeah, it's Kevin James.
Yeah, King of Queens.
He's mostly been in,
Yeah.
he's mostly been in bad stuff.
Yeah, have you seen him when he was working out? This guy was a muscle box thing. He only started to get out of shape when he stopped doing that, like most people. And so I don't know when he got his wife, but probably during a time where he was working out hard. And then you stick together.
So you're saying he lost his
I don't
looks.
know by what criteria this guy goes.
Yeah.
Like by present day, okay, someone's not working out anymore. Would he make the same complaint if the women were land whales and the guy's looking okay?
That is a story right there. Forget the movie. Like, what happened there? What's going on?
Basically, any Melissa McCarthy movie ever.
Oh yeah, that's how it goes when she has a relationship.
Oh, and that's a lot of what happens to sadly many women past menopause, because their bodies, the hormones go wild, and then your beautiful slim fit wife turns into a blob, and there's nothing you can do about it, or very little, and it's just nature.
All right, here's Kyle Rocket. Seriously, okay, here we go again. He looks as though Shane Dawson and Unisian had a threesome with Maggie May solely because they felt sorry for her, and then their sperm cells somehow fertilized the exact same egg cell and made him. How do I think of this shit so fast? Kyle, your guess is... I don't know how you...
As good as mine.
Either take your meds or change your prescription. Or leave the meds away. Any of those.
Or cut the heroin out, then you'll be fine. As delicious as heroin is, you should stop once in a while.
Delicious? What does heroin taste like?
It tastes like joy. That's what it tastes like.
Get some help.
It tastes like ice cream.
It's like adrenaline for your brain. Like, whoa! that's fun.
Is this like this? What does cyanide smell like?
No. I only smelled a little bit of cyanide. Just a touch. Yeah.
It does. The answer is almonds, by the way.
Almonds? What?
Old almonds.
Cyanide tastes like almonds.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That it was a famous.
Someone was fast enough to note it down.
Yeah, the famous thing is in older golden age murder mysteries. It's putrefied almonds. That's what it smells like. Apparently. So anyway, let's go.
Look no further than the career of Vince Vaughn and Kevin James as proof of this point. Like, no matter how schlumpy the guy, it's always just kind of a given that he can't be a leading man.
I don't.
I wouldn't call that attractive, to be honest. It just looks weird.
Yeah, but we're talking
I
about.
think they're around the same age too.
Yeah, we're talking about a movie where they have makeup on. They look a little different, unless there's a specific scene he's pointing to in the film that doesn't make sense to him. This is not a fair assessment. This is not how it's done.
No.
Also, like Reese Witherspoon.
I believe Janet.
Yeah, that's Reese Witherspoon. Like, she doesn't usually look like that. She looks like pretty attractive. I think that's just a bad picture, honestly.
Well, wasn't Jennifer Aniston and Vince Vaughn around the same age when they did that movie?
I'm not sure.
And Vince Vaughn was pretty in shape for that movie.
Yeah, I don't think that the age is a huge issue unless they're going like crazy age differences. But these are all attractive people in Hollywood to a point. Some of them aren't, of course, but they are made to look attractive and sound attractive and act attractive in these specific films. If they weren't, then it's a comedy. The point is then the point would be for them to be unattractive. So this is a weird standard he's using of male is unattractive or female is unattractive. Therefore, I find this trope silly or dumb or redundant or whatever he hates it for.
And
if
you want to know what is a good-looking man, you should ask women or gay people.
I think guys know. I think guys can tell other guys how they look.
Somewhat, but not to the same degree. And what is truly attractive in a man for a woman also goes beyond looks.
Oh yeah, they put different standards for sure.
Yeah, because that is about action and courage and all that other nonsense.
Yeah, these social elements I was talking about. There's a lot of focus on how they make you feel by how they talk to you and how they are around you. And I've seen many bulbous men have extreme confidence, kindness, and comedy, and everyone wants to be around, as unattractive visually as they are.
Yeah.
So,
good comedy is an amazing factor in a man.
It's like you're super friendly to a point, and then you're cocky, confident at the other degree, and it's just this weird mix that is just fun to be around. It's just how it goes.
Like Henry Cavill is appealing because he's a good person and he's a physically attractive man, whereas Pedro Pascal kind of puts his foot in his mouth sometimes and says really stupid things, which is why he's not as attractive.
Also, with Pedro Pascal, it also depends a lot on the role that how he's styled up. He can look really disgusting. He can look really good.
That's why he wears a mask all the time in The Mandalorian. Get it? No, just kidding.
All right.
And without a core of interest. This has always been a problem in Hollywood to some extent or another.
How? I want to know what was wrong with those films and why.
Yeah, I don't understand the problem.
Yeah, I want to know.
But where was the sexism?
I don't know.
I just don't understand the problem. Guy meets girl, end of story. If you want the teenage girl jerk off movie, you watch Twilight or Souls. Was that the next thing that author did? Where you have the interchangeable playgirl guys standing next to each other, and I couldn't even tell them apart because they all looked exactly the same with exactly the same six packs and body types and everything. And can we leave the cinema, please? No, the girl I went to the sneak peek every week with, and she really liked that movie. I wonder why. I was just it's super attractive guys physically, but there was no character. I couldn't tell the difference between these people. It was even I thought for the entire movie of I think the English title is Souls. That the German word was just the German title was just the plural of souls. For the entire movie, I thought it was a love triangle between main girl and one guy and another guy. And only near the end of the movie, there was the scene where all the three guys, so it's a harem story in a way, were standing in the same scene, shirtless, in front of her. And I realized, oh, it's three people. But they look so much alike that I just thought it's just two.
Yeah.
And there you get your attractive guys, but that's mainly just the looks department. That's for teenage girls, I suppose.
Sure. Yeah, because teenage girls are extremely shallow.
All right, let's go.
It used to be an age gap. Cary Grant and Eva Marie Saint, John Wayne and Grace Kelly.
This Gary Cooper asshole.
Old dudes were always paired up with a much younger lady friend to share their kisses with. This in itself isn't bad, as the happy pairing of two people of disparate ages happens all the time in real life. But when it comes to cinema, these kinds of relationships tend to get misrepresented.
Okay, so it's not whether they're attractive, it's the age gap? Is that what he was trying to say before?
Please clarify your points.
Yeah. There's plenty...
Well, he was saying it was misrepresented.
Yeah, I mean, this happens a lot in life, so I don't see what the huge deal is. If two people like each other, they don't really care, really, how old they are in relation, so...
No, I mean...
Sometimes age is just a number, and there are a lot of people who like to think that way, and that, honestly, good mentality.
Well, it's like women just want to be with the older guy, just vice versa. Like, that's just how it works sometimes.
I think person did the Bad Mission Impossible video that EFAB covered a while back. He said that the girl is like way too young for Tom Cruise, and I think that somebody made the point of, well, like, yeah, women totally don't want to be with adventurous, handsome, rich, charismatic dudes.
Right.
Yeah. I'd be careful with that. Age is just a number line, though, because there is a certain demographic of people that use that. That goes a little low. But that aside,
yes.
But that
if they're
aside,
consenting adults, if they're not pedophiles. If they're pedophiles, then yes, no.
And with adults, it's a completely natural thing that women like accomplished men, and men like fertile women. And women tend to be most fertile in their 20s. And while the older you get, like past 50, the quality of your sperm does go down, and it has more genetic errors as well. Can lead to complications. It's still, as weird as it sounds or looks, it's natural for women to want or to like men that are older than them, and for men, because it takes a while for them to establish a stable life where they can support someone, like a woman who's pregnant needs to stay at home and maybe nurture the kid for the first couple of years, because that.
And also, we don't want her to die of overexertion or hurt the baby.
Yeah, because the whole thing with this is what happened in socialism, and I think the Nazis even invented the kindergarten in Austria initially. The whole idea was to free up the mother from having to care about the children so that she can join the workforce. Was the whole intention. It was nothing. It's nothing to do with liberation or anything. It's rather to and it helps. It allows the state to have more power over the child. You will have lesser family bonds through that. The healthy thing for a mother is to be with the child for the first couple of years, because that bond needs to be really strong. And yeah, you can find that shit. But because but I want to be an accomplished worker. Yeah, you can't have both.
You see, for us,
that's mutually exclusive.
We can see this pattern going. Okay, well, it's not too uncommon. It's not a big deal. But he must have watched a lot of films to say, okay, this is too much. Like something's going on here, for him to be turned off by it. And that's fine. You can dislike something because you've read 10 books in the same genre that all have the same pattern. You're like, oh, this is unbelievable, or whatever the case may be. And it's very stiff. It's very different when you're talking about a contemporary setting or a realistic setting, like romantic comedies or whatever he's talking about in these regards. So I want to hear the storytelling reason why this is bad, not the I've watched all these movies, this is redundant to me, it's boring, or it's silly. It's like no, that's not an excuse. That's just I've been accustomed to it for so long. It doesn't stimulate me, and it caused me to think in other ways, like how realistic is this? And then we go, it is realistic.
Absolutely, yeah.
It is realistic, but he just doesn't know any better.
Problem?
Yeah, he's just unaware of the reality of it. That's fine. You could be this person, but I still want to have the argument he's coming from. He's not saying that yet. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he doesn't clarify his points. It's a big problem with Mr. Coldcrashpictures, especially when he goes down the insane route of quoting Mr. Joshua David Bellin and saying that Jurassic Park is about a patriarchal family asserting itself over wild feminized nature.
Okay.
We all reminisced on.
I wish they were making that up.
Yeah, I know. We remember when we watched that done, and you were like, "I have to buy the book. I must buy it."
Yes, and I did, and I've read multiple chapters of it, and it's so bad. It's some of the worst word salad I've ever read. It's horrible, but it's so
Don,
funny.
Are you suicidal?
No, I'm just insane.
I think Dunn is like the crazy part of my psyche that just goes out and seeks these things. Okay, this is really a lunatic person here. I want to learn all about them. Okay, Dunn. That's why I ask him for Maggie Fish recommendations. He knows exactly what to pick.
Okay, Dunn, I'll make a promise to you. Within the next month, I will translate an old story of mine, and then it will tell me your opinion, because I want to see you cringe.
Well, it's going to be difficult. I live off of cringe. So...
Well, then we both win.
You have TikTok then?
No, I don't have that much cringe. And I need to step up my game and get TikTok if I am the king of cringe.
All right. Here is Mike Testa. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Is it wrong to say the Blu-rays behind him are more interesting than this stuffed shirt whip? It does tell us a story. Seeing his media, anyone with a bookshelf or any media shelf is like, oh, what kind of person is this? And you just peruse it. So yes, I would say any library tells a more interesting story just by glancing at it. But his...
No, it's not okay, Mike. It's sexist.
It's a sexist library?
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, let's see his argument here. We're still waiting for a point.
Nick, it's always kind of a given that men are going to be dating...
Pretty Woman? This guy, an attractive millionaire who hires a prostitute and treats her like a woman. What is... I don't get it.
That's a problem, I guess.
Unless he's talking about how Julia Roberts is unattractive? I don't... Or young? What? Richard Gere?
What's this guy's name?
She's younger than Richard Gere, but...
Richard Gere, that's it.
He was so attractive, he got asked to play Lancelot opposite of Sean Connery, and it's like, yeah, it's totally believable that she would go for Lancelot. I totally believe that. Yep, I totally believe that. Good job.
So I'm just reading this right now. As of last year, Richard Gere is 71 and Julia is 52. So there is an age difference. So 19.
He looks very good for his age.
Yeah.
He's 70?
Yeah, he looks like he's still in his 20s.
Yeah. So, but again, the story is of a rich dude picking up a hooker, treating her like a woman because he needs that sort... What's the word? He needs to have a glamorous-looking lady with him wherever he goes, so they, I don't know, don't treat him like he's single. And she's just along for the ride going, oh, great, I get to, eat well and go shopping and yada, yada. So...
And did they fall in love? I don't remember.
They were in a few movies together. That's all I know. But
I mean in the movie.
Oh, in the movie, yes, she falls in love with him, and he encourages her to go back to school and get her high school diploma, yada yada. So that's where Jason Alexander plays this horrible businessman who tries to sleep with her because he realizes that she's a prostitute. So. Fantastic stuff.
Oh yeah, Jason Alexander, the bald guy, right? The short bald guy.
He is short.
He's the unversatile bird gargoyle from Hunchback of Notre Dame, the Disney version.
All right, let's go.
Dating much co-stars, or hotter co-stars, or just as hot but younger. If you think I'm exaggerating or overstating this problem, take a look at how Hollywood treats the flip side when the genders are swapped and the girl is suddenly much older than the guy. The age discrepancy is suddenly the subject of the entire plot. And if it's a movie about an ugly girl, you can bet there's going to be a makeover montage before the end of Act 1.
So why is that bad? Why is that bad?
Wait, how's that bad?
It's tropey and it's sometimes overdone, but it's not inherently bad.
What and how's it sexist?
It's just kind of there.
Well, let's believe it is sexist. Let's, for the argument's sake, it is sexist, so that there's a double standard for male and female age differences in stories. Why is that a bad thing? I see nothing wrong with telling a story about an older woman or an older man, and that being the focus. We have Lolita. We have what other older men patterns are there? I don't even know because I don't pay attention to these things.
There's That's My Boy by Adam Sandler, where a teacher has sex with her student and gets pregnant.
Oh my God.
Oh God, yeah.
The Professional?
And it's funny.
I'm reminded of The Professional, where we have Leon, what's his face? Play a hitman, and he takes care of this little girl. Obviously, they're not romantic, but he treats her like his daughter.
She's going into that direction because she's just mentally nuts because due to the abuse she's gone through, and that's a common thing at that age when that happens.
And plus, he's killing a bunch of people for her. So
yeah, but she, if you would actually allow it, the girl in that situation would go sexual with him.
Oh yeah,
he's just not allowing it, thankfully.
Right, he's doing his duty to protect her as a person, not as a relationship thing.
Yeah, he's been a reasonable adult as much as he can be.
Right. And of course, Gary Oldman's
I was
awesome.
gonna say there was also wasn't Spider-Man: Homecoming. I think the black chick was older than Spider-Man.
Sure. Yeah, I think she was. Yeah.
Because she was like what 28, and Tom Holland was like still 20 or something. I mean, there's that if you want to jump to that point. But,
so I have a list. There's actually a list on MoviePhone.com. The Babysitters, Lolita September, Lady Macbeth, Lolita June, The Crush, The Key, Red Joan April, A Diary of a Teenage Girl, and these were all. Most of them are in the 2000s. There's some in 1962, one in 1993. So, yeah, it's all over the place. This has been going on for years. This is pretty normal.
Mm-hmm.
So what's wrong with it? There's all kinds.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just bad. You're part of the patriarchy.
Great Balls of Fire. What's that? Dirty Dancing.
Oh, was Dirty Dancing?
Yeah. Well, there's a bunch of others which are very suggestive, which I'm not going to mention, but yeah. Anyway,
Ooh.
Why this is a bad thing, we don't know. So I want to know.
You have safe search off, huh? Just joking.
No, I just don't want to. I see the covers. I'm like, okay, that is more than just a romance. That is people together in bed naked. That's enough.
That is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a movie.
Maybe, I don't know. I've never heard of it before.
Yeah, that's solidly counted.
Yeah.
That's solidly in the realm of erotica.
I guess it could be softcore porn. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, here is Strawman. Hey, Strawman. I find is sexist when instead of going for the hot chick, the main protagonist goes for a woman. He would give the blue whale a run in girth. Oh. Okay. Well,
that reminds me. There was a Shallow Hal where the guy goes after the obese woman.
Right. That's the nature of this. That's the whole focus of the story. This guy who gets cursed to see the inner beauty of people, and there's this gorgeous woman who happens to be this bulbous mass of a creature. And
yeah.
And it's the same with everything else. Like he sees ugly people because the inside of their heart is rotten, which I think is a perfectly fine story. If you're going to have a little bit of magic in your story, it's great. So I see nothing wrong with stories like that. That's good.
Mm-hmm. And that's not saying that all pretty people are ugly inside and all fat people are beautiful inside.
Right. I'm just reminded of
McCarthy is a good example of this.
Of Final Fantasy X. I don't know if you guys played Final Fantasy X. In relation to Strawman's super chat.
Only the beginning.
If you remember Final Fantasy X, he ends up falling in love with Yuna as opposed to his hotter goth sister Lulu. And I was always confused by that. I was like, wait a second, Yuna's great and all. She's fun to be around.
That's because you are into Lulu.
I guess. She's this seductive, mature woman who's helping you and always caring about her family. It's like, yeah, what's wrong with she's right there.
I find her looks repulsive.
Really? All the belts?
Yes.
All the big titty goth chick?
The dress is so ugly.
Yeah, it's
fashion
awesome.
crime.
It's awesome. It's this crazy look. I've never seen a dress like that before. I was like, what are you wearing? What is going on? And she's a black mage, so she blows shit up for you. It's awesome. So,
yeah, that's a positive trait, definitely.
She's crazy Asian hair, all done up in a bun and really, really, really long and braids. Really low cut. I don't even know how that dress hangs on her chest. I don't know how that works. It's a seductive, mature, sexy woman, and then you have Yuna who's like gonna die. You're like, okay.
Okay, girls, if you want to be called a bitch and be bought fries by Smart, then do Lulu cosplay.
There you go.
Lulu from what? From what thing?
Final Fantasy X or Final Fantasy X.
10.
I always thought whenever, I don't know if you guys ever played the game, but when she goes into her limit break, when you massage the analog sticks, I feel like you're actually, you're giving her a grope of some kind there to generate some attack power for her magic. So, anyway,
You wanna check the
Okay,
rules
that's hilarious.
for Rule 34 stuff, Smut?
no. That's fine.
What the fuck?
Things
It
I
exists
do
somewhere.
in a video game store when no one's around. I'm like, oh yeah, limit breaking. That's what I'm doing. I'm defeating the enemy.
Smut 34.
Anyway, trope number 4. This guy does not like.
Number 4.
Oh, we're already on
femjet
4 down.
picture. This term, which I always apply pejoratively, stands for females in jeopardy, or women who spend the entire duration of a film either crying or bravely not crying. Now, putting a woman in danger on film is not what
You mean
Right.
Damsels in Distress?
I think it's Damsels in Distress. Yeah.
Yeah.
Femjet?
Yeah, that kind of threw me off. Femjeb.
I
You're typing it, right?
I don't know. I've never heard this term. Let's just assume it's damsel in distress.
bothers me. Not so, because sometimes women are put in danger as a source of drama, just as men are. It's the treatment of women in danger as spectacles that bothers me. Just look at the remake for The Hills Have Eyes to see what I'm talking about. About halfway through the movie, the mutated hill people finally attack the unsuspecting family in the broken down trailer, and one of the girls gets raped, which is something that can happen during the course of a horror film and isn't wrong in and of itself. But look at the way it's shot. It's filmed from the perspective of the attacker. Ugh, you know what? I don't even want to show you the video. Suffice it to say that in any rape scene, a shot of a breast is one thing, but when you're inserting long, lingering takes of breasts, shots of a victim's legs getting yanked apart, you're no longer shooting to horrify, but to titillate, which is...
That is horror.
Yeah, that
Wait,
is horror.
who gets
You draw it
told-
out. It's horror runs a lot on suspension and tension, and that's what you
But
do by just going slowly about it all and not just getting it
But
over
he's
with. in
saying
a
that
scene.
it turns people on. How does it turn people on? You have to be a psycho to...
Yeah, is he projecting here?
What the fuck?
So rape is bad, but it's okay to do it, except when it's exploitative. You're like, what? What are you talking about? What the hell do you think rape is?
Yeah, lingering shots are more problematic than just showing breasts. I think it's the other way around. No? Right? I mean, am I crazy?
He thinks it just works right and is morally correct to do if you just do it like you're looking at the perpetrator from the victim's eyes. Which in this case doesn't even work because the victim's still asleep. You could only do the victim perspective really once the victim's awake.
I'm just...
And in regards
I don't know. That's just weird.
to women bravely not crying, I think before he brought up a frame from Die Hard for some reason. I don't remember in which context. Maybe I'm imagining it. I don't know. But Die Hard would be a wonderful example of the wife being a strong female character, and a genuine strong female character, not the SJW kind where we say that ironically, because she is smart and she holds herself against the villain, and protects the other, and in as much as she can protects the other hostages with her smarts.
The wife, right?
Yes, the wife, because she's not revealing to the villain her true name, because then the villain would know that he could use her as a special hostage against McLean, because hey, I have your wife here, which is what happens later when he does find out who she is.
So he's arguing that the Hills Have Eyes movie, are they blind in that movie?
I think.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's a really... really
Don't ask
crazy.
me about horror movies.
Okay, well,
I think I've only seen the second one, and that was just weird.
I know, but his argument is that the camera shots are too long. When it's you can't have
I know.
you can't
and
have
somehow
long
it turns you on.
camera angles when you're doing a rape scene. You're like, what do you mean? Why? There's plenty of rape scenes in film where just one shot and you see the whole damn thing.
Yeah, it's supposed part of horror is to make you uncomfortable.
And he's uncomfortable.
That's what that does.
And I don't like it. It's like, what? Dude.
Yeah, okay, then the scene has accomplished its goal.
Yeah, bravo. It's a good trope. It's doing the job it was meant to do.
Here's the thing. I don't think anybody likes rape. Okay?
Yeah.
So I don't know why.
Yeah, to be honest, you're not supposed to like the horror scenes in a horror movie for what is actually being depicted,
Right.
as if you were in favor of what is happening on the screen.
So if
You enjoy them for giving you these strong emotional reactions.
Yeah, I want to
fear and
actually
disgust.
try and
You know what's funny?
what?
Because I was just remembering this. I've watched this movie. I think James Gunn did this movie. It's called Super, I think. Where this little girl played by Ellen Page, she rapes the guy Dwight from The Office, and it's meant to be like funny.
That was that scene was creepy, and Super is a wonderful subversion of the superheroes genre. It plays everything completely straight, and there's no superpowers.
No.
And that movie is what you watch that movie, but yeah, that scene is creepy because that girl is a lunatic.
Yeah, like it's like implying that like you'd be turned on by that.
So I'd like to put my
I don't know.
I'd like to put myself in his shoes and say, okay, maybe there is a weird sort of cinematic reasoning why this is bad, why long shots of nudity in a genre of a film which doesn't usually have it or doesn't or should include it is like there's a certain acceptable limit for a cut. And I'm trying to rationalize what that number would be. Like what's the time what's the delay? Like is it 5 seconds? Is it 2 seconds?
30 seconds?
Yeah, like how fast does the cut have to be so he's no longer offended? Like what does that mean? Like I can't quite.
What's the cutoff point?
Yeah, and how long does the actual scene have to be? Like what?
We have to do a fade in, fade out,
Well,
or
yeah,
Star Trek.
That's what I mean. Like there could be an actual limit, like the shock value goes away after a certain amount of time. I would agree. Like there's after you go, oh my god, she's about to get raped. Oh my god, she's nude. Oh my god, she's still nude. Oh my god, she's getting raped. And it just keeps going on.
So what's I don't get his point. We need to make rape comfortable.
Well, no. What I mean is that the shock value is redundant and just drawn out. Like a scene can be drawn out for comedy, for drama, for whatever. You know, this happens in film.
Uh-huh.
Now, I'm just not familiar with rape scenes, so maybe there is an actual threshold for okay. Now we know we don't need to see the thrusts. We don't have to see the 50th thrust. You know, we don't need all that detail. So I would argue there probably is, and he's trying to point to that, but he has no idea what he's talking about because he's like, oh, I just don't like it. You're like, that's not an argument. It's just tell us give us a time. Give us like 10 seconds. Like I see the scene, I see the nudity, I see the horror, and then cut. And you're like, oh my God. Like that should be a good scene. Theoretically. So what I wanted him to do is say, this scene takes 50 seconds. That's way too long. And I'd be like, all right, sure. You got an argument. It's not a good argument, but it's still something. Aside from, I don't like it. Anyway.
Well, that's what it's going to boil down to. I feel like it's
well,
I don't like it.
I don't mind.
We'll see.
I don't mind the premise or the starting point of your argument. I don't like it, and here's my reasoning why. I want the reason why. That's all I want. Anyway, let's keep going. Otaku Sage. I really like the Hills Have Eyes remake. I heard it was good. Zero. Hey, Zero. This is the same nonsense argument used against Goblin Slayer. That's what it sounds like, yeah. It's just because, oh my God, they're showing a woman. Mm-hmm. But that was so brief. It was so quick.
I mean, if you do the scene for 5 minutes straight, yeah, that's probably odd.
Exactly.
But I doubt that's what's happening in these movies.
Anyway, let's go.
It's perhaps ironically quite horrifying. Number 3, the female badass as automatic feminist icon.
The female.
See, he didn't go into it.
Yeah, I know.
The female badass is an automatic feminist icon. I don't think anybody complained about Ripley from Alien.
I don't think anyone goes, oh,
Or Sarah Connor from Terminator.
Ripley. Like this is a meta argument. I don't think anyone went, oh, Ripley is now a female feminist icon or whatever bullshit. You're like, no, she's just a good character.
No, you can tell
it's
if
rather
it's a
that-
feminist icon.
It's rather that we bring these characters up because feminists complain about no strong female characters in movies and video games and whatnot. So we mention these strong female characters that have always been in media everywhere. It's not because we say they're feminist icons. It's because we merely say, look, feminists, the stuff you wanted that you complain about already exists. You're just deliberately ignoring it to have a reason to be hysterical and fuck everyone's pleasant time.
Yeah. Not incorrect.
Like we don't see
and-
Samus Aran as a feminist icon. We just see her as a she. That's it. We don't care about her sex. It's irrelevant. We don't see Laura Croft as a feminist icon. She's just a chick. She's a girl. She's doing
How
badass
would this
stuff.
be like a trope?
I don't think this is a trope.
I think you were saying it was more of a meta, right?
It's a meta commentary on the character being female and being a badass. It's like, oh, she's a tough chick. You're like, yeah, you're right. I'm gonna see if this is even a trope. I don't think so.
Sexist, I guess. I don't know.
I don't think this is a trope. There's
It's
like
a
action
common-
girl.
It's
There's
a
tough guy.
common meta thing.
Yeah, that's not a. Yeah, you're right. That's not a trope. That's just a complaint of his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Here's Strawman again. Thank you. Moby Dick remake. Love story between a man and a whale. Rob Schneider is Ahab, and Amy Schumer is Bluey, the whale, in Love and Fish. Coming soon. Wow.
I'm sure we could make a whale romance thing in a Kantai collection setting.
Oh yes, I could see that happening. Azure Lane. The next is going to be this giant Buddha-like woman. She's just, I don't know, an aircraft carrier or something.
Isn't there a movie where Amy Schumer always gets the hot guy?
I don't watch her movies. I have no idea.
And they pay
No,
anyone?
I don't either. I don't.
Anyway,
But I could have sworn there was.
let's see what his trope is. I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
Speaking of James Cameron, as I say this, who gets a lot of credit for being a feminist simply because all of his female characters aren't afraid to kick ass and take names.
Get away from her, you bitch!
There's not necessarily anything wrong with the films themselves, mind you. That's not what I'm trying to say. I just find it odd that so many critics see these films as feminist works just because the female character can throw a punch.
Okay, wait a second. So,
It's just what I explained right now.
yeah,
And because because of this, the feminists put us into a double bind where what they want, what they complain and want, already exists, and yet they're telling us that they want that because it doesn't exist. So we're at a loss of what they actually want. And it's probably nothing.
this is just some critics'
You
opinions.
just want to complain.
These are other people talking about a film, not what's actually in the film.
Absolutely,
What a-
yeah. So it's
what
not
a-
a trope.
What a dumb... That's not even an argument, dude.
That's a very nice
Did he say
concept,
it was
by
a
the way.
trope before? Or maybe he's just going off point.
His number 3 is apparently a
know.
trope. I don't know what... This
Not
is,
well
Oh,
bound
so he
trope.
did. So he did say it was 3. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know what qualifies as a trope.
yeah, that's a dumb thing. Honestly, I think this guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, and he reads other critics, and he gets opinions from them, like we saw with the Jurassic Park. Like he could. There's no way in hell he could have made up those lines from Jurassic Park. Like there's no way. So he reads other people who share his mentality of feminism good and just runs with it. And in this case, he's got nothing to work off. He's just like, why is it that when there's a strong women, people think it's a pattern in storytelling? It's like, who? Name them. I've never heard of this before. And why should we listen to that? Strange.
Yeah, there's kind of an element of, if you believe this, I can't really take your opinion seriously.
Yeah. Weird take.
Just look at a film like Fire, and you'll see why the presence of a woman with a gun in any particular film does not mean anything with regard to how gender progressive the work is.
Don't.
Gender progressive. What a stupid word.
Number 2, super crass fat chicks.
Okay.
Crass fat chicks.
Also, guns are the big equalizer. That's what makes what allows women to be on equal footing with men in regards to danger.
Okay, so...
Yeah, because otherwise they have to worry about getting... they have to contend with the fact that dudes on average have higher body strength than girls do.
So...
Yeah, and with guns it's just pull of a trigger.
So there's all kinds of patterns of women who are fat in storytelling. It's a parent trope, so there's like the huge schoolgirl, the Braunhilde, the gonky femme, the real women have curves pattern. This is common stuff, but that's because there's all kinds of women of different body shapes.
Oh, yeah, and from what I've seen in media as well as in real life, the fat SJW chicks, they dig this trope, as he calls it.
Oh yes,
they really love that because
right?
it's a power fantasy of theirs.
Yeah, they love body positivity.
Or there's Rebel. Is it Rebel? Rebel? I don't know. Rebel Wilson, right? That fat chick from Pitch Perfect. They loved her. They called her Fat Amy. And what happened when she lost all that weight? Oh, it's fat phobic apparently. No.
All right. Well, let's see what he says.
Look at the films of Rebel Wilson, or anything Melissa McCarthy has done post Gilmore Girls, and you'll see what I'm talking about. They're always cast as the profane asshole who's destined to be the most enthusiastically vocal about their freaky sexual preferences.
You probably just have defeated phallus syndrome.
If you ever met a fat borderline girl, that's what they do.
Don't worry, we can change all that. That's what we specialize in here. Penis magic.
It's not just a coincidence.
That's
if
a realistic
you're a fat
depiction.
female and you're in any kind of ensemble picture.
Well, this is kind of a bad example too, because Michael Bay is a sociopath, and Michael Bay just does that with every character.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just saying that depiction of fat girls is true when they're borderline.
That happens with fat guys too. I mean, well, not to this extent, right? But they're made the butt of the joke, right? You look at Kevin James.
Yeah, with him it's funny, but with the girls it's they mean it. They really exist, and there's lots of them, and it's creepy.
Yeah. Well, I think that was the Michael Bay flick he was showing.
So I'm just curious, what's wrong with this pattern? I just want to know, because tropes by themselves are inherently neutral. So I want to know what's wrong with this one, because Melissa McCarthy made a whole career out of it.
Yeah. The cast. Why? Once again, we're going to talk about women as spectacles. Most filmmakers seem to think that
it's a movie. Everything's a spectacle.
A movie is a spectacle.
Everyone's
what
spectacle.
the fuck?
Yes.
Women as spectacles, movies are spectacles. That's why we watch them.
Guys are are spectacles, like Indiana Jones.
That's why people went to the circus.
Yeah, visual comedy is a thing. It's easy to understand, it's cheap to make, and people laugh.
Yeah.
Where people
I just
went
want to forget the world for a minute, or for an hour, I mean.
So on and so on. I don't get this guy.
Wow.
don't think anybody really gets him. Unless it's like good old Joshua David Bellin, who is who's just insane. Apparently, like, The Wizard of Oz is about, like, class conflict because of technology. Oh, really? That's one of his takes.
Well, what does this guy
It's
want?
hilarious.
Like super sexy crass chicks? Like, what does he want? What's the problem here?
What's his fetish?
I don't know.
He doesn't want sexy women. He doesn't want fat women. What does he want?
He just wants to
Expects,
complain.
In order to be
Anorexic
enjoyed. A
women?
medium as visual as film, treating women as spectacles is probably the most rampant problem that you're going to find. In the case of fat women being super crass on camera, I think it's because most filmmakers decide that a woman needs to be drop dead gorgeous in order to attract attention from the audience. God forbid you make her an interesting character or give her a good line of dialogue. If she's fat or not gorgeous, let's say, she's got to be made some profane, crass, pervert, frat boy in order to be turned into a sideshow attraction so that the audience will watch her. Number one.
So, he's
What?
mainly complaining about Western media or media everywhere.
What is he
Western
talking?
media.
Because, dude, watch some Japanese shit, and you get your good female characters of all looks.
Yeah. Well, and somebody in the comments, they said, mind you, Melissa McCarthy writes these roles for her with her husband. Which is just funny. I don't know.
He's just, I don't like this pattern because I think women are being exploited. Even though they're the ones who want to be exploited, they write the scripts for themselves. Like, what? Dude.
They don't have interesting characters. Okay?
So he's... let me translate that. He wants women to do what he says instead of what they want.
Yeah.
How about the innumerous number of men who are ugly and perverted in all kinds of film? What is, I mean, they're designed to be offensive. That's the point. It's like, oh, there's a pervert guy hitting on the main character again. Here we go. Like,
Yeah, it's like a Eurotrip, for example. It's just played as a joke when this just perverted French guy comes in and starts taking off his pants. Just, that's a thing.
I don't see what is inherently wrong with that. When people understand it, that's unattractive. They're saying crass things. They're rude. They don't look good. They don't sound good. They probably don't smell good. Like, wow. The message is clear. Thank you, movie.
No, we just want women to be attractive all the
Do you
time.
want, like, constantly attractive people just playing the same role? Like, what's the problem?
Yeah, well, I mean, go look at Magic Mike's. It's just a bunch of good-looking dudes stripping.
Yeah, there's a reason why we call them tropes, because we see them time and again. Now, why is that? Do you understand the pattern? Okay. What's wrong with the pattern? Patterns by themselves aren't bad. It's how it's used.
Oh.
It's how this pattern or this instance of the pattern is used in the context of the film, the scenario, what the character's trying to accomplish. And aside from a very few select tropes, they're neutral. You can do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have your big titty blonde elves in your isekai manga, you're not going to make me go, oh yeah, this is great. No, I won't care. It's par for the course. In fact, I'd be surprised if there weren't any of those. Because then the artist would be like, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to have a bunch of normal-looking people. And you're like, really? In manga? You're going to draw normal-looking people in manga for the Japanese audience? That won't sell. People will not have anything to be attracted to aside from typical-looking people doing typical-looking things in a fantasy world. So you have this magical world to do whatever you want, and you're not even getting halfway up the ladder for me to climb with you. I'm like, where are you going?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Why are you wasting my time? Go for broke, man. Go as far as you can go up that ladder, and how high can you scale that wall with your writing? I want to see you go up there. Don't go up there like a clown, but go up there in a way that I want to watch you go up there, and I'm going to follow you. I'm going to keep reading and keep buying your book or your series. And if you don't give me anything attractive or even ugly stuff like crass women, it's going to be boring. It can't just be gorgeous models. It can't just be ugly people. It can't just be, I don't know, horror rape. Even in the revenge stories, you can't just constantly have rape and murder. You have to mix up the atrocity. You can't just have a Saw movie, just a bunch of guys being cut up by a saw, unless that's what the Saw movies are. I have no idea. I haven't seen them. But there's got to be more to it than just, another saw blade.
Just torture films, I guess.
Yeah, there has to be like different ways of dismemberment, different ways and methods to mix it up so you see something new and different. It's like, oh my God, I never thought you could be cut that way or whatever. It's a vivisection, literally down the middle. Oh my, like something along those lines. Anyway,
Yeah.
patterns by themselves aren't bad or boring unless you have consumed
But he
every
thinks
piece
it's
of
a problem.
media in the genre and go, oh, another vampire story. Here we go. But at that point, the problem isn't the movie or the story. It's you, the viewer, being oversaturated with the same content. And it sounds like this guy is oversaturated. And going, oh, another fat chick saying...
Well, sometimes you could have that, right? Where it's like, oh, you think what same trope, and it turns out it's not that at all.
Yeah, that's
Right?
that's a spin on the trope. Yeah, exactly. It's a reversal or it's a partial trope. That's great.
Yeah.
Context really
That
matters.
was a term.
Yeah.
Thank you. I totally forgot.
Yeah, so I'm getting the feeling he just gets tired of seeing all these movies that have women in them, and he's so defensive of women. Oh, this is bad. Women are more than just physical objects. Like, it's a comedy show, and the scenario is to show off how rude and disgusting this person is, who happens to be female. Anyway, I'm ranting. I'm sorry. Let's keep going.
No, that was awesome.
That's fine.
Punishing females. Just punishing them. For no reason other than the fact that they have vaginas.
Wait, what?
What?
Talking about.
Oh,
This is retarded. No, come on.
I'm very
you
interested
think
in the
this is-
examples he brings up.
I want to see women
this is-
be punished in their vaginas. That's what this sentence is telling me.
Holy shit, dude.
That's
I want to see his
Oh,
examples for women being
How
punished
far
for
up
being
your
women.
ass did you pull this out of from? Like, come on.
Where's he get that from?
I don't know. Let's see, I guess.
yeah, we got to find out. This is so.
Let's open this mystery box.
Yeah.
You may have mentioned on this list anything about punishing expressions of female sexuality. And the reason for that is because Hollywood, postmodern dandy that it is, knows that
Post what?
Modern as
Postmodern.
a dim?
sexuality.
What?
And the reason for that is because Hollywood, postmodern dandy that it is, knows that
He didn't know how to pronounce it.
Postmodern dandy?
He wanted to say modernity. Doesn't
Modernity.
pronounce
Oh,
it.
okay.
This
Hollywood
guy
is,
wrote a
Dude.
book.
Dude, if you can't pronounce the word, just try again and cut it out.
does
Edit it.
he mean
or use a
Hollywood
different word.
is postmodern in the artistic sense or in the philosophical sense? What is he talking about?
It can only be these people.
He's not
I
gonna
bet
explain
think it. I mean the artistic sense, but what they're really talking about all the time is the philosophical sense.
See, I get that feeling. They don't know what they're saying.
And it's they're deliberately mixing the two up, so that they can always. It's a Mott Bailey argument, so that they can always retreat to, oh, but it's about the artistic thing when it never is, because it's always about the philosophical thing.
Just a mess of a video. 1 million views, guys. Very popular. All right.
God.
Cyrek. Hey, Cyrek, how's it going again?
Yeah, I know. You should see the comments.
Oh, I don't want to. Where are the sexist tropes about men? Oh, there's all kinds. This video is sexist because it doesn't have equal representation. 0 to 5 would not recommend. You know, there are all kinds of tropes about men and women, and there's nothing inherently wrong with them. Like the feminist or the female who's in danger, like that's fine. Even he said it was fine.
Yeah.
But apparently,
I'm still waiting for his examples for this insane thing he just brought up.
I know. Isn't this the same thing as his fourth point, where it's women being raped? It's like, isn't that also a form of punishment?
There's
It's not.
plenty
It's
of
not being. It's not necessarily being punished for being women.
Well, they're
Yeah,
women.
there's plenty
So
of men that want to
Yeah, but
defend the woman.
it's this grotesque
Yeah, but
monster.
you can interpret rape as also just being exploiting women for being women. But punishing women for being women can be something
Sure.
else than
It's
rape.
a rape.
Sure. Okay, I could see.
I'm still wait. I want his examples,
All right,
and I have a feeling we're not going to get any.
Yeah, let's go.
No, we're not, because he
If
can't
it's just
bother
a
to
bunch of,
explain himself.
if it's just
Every
a bunch
point.
of S&M, I'm like, what's wrong with S&M? Like,
He
what do you-
just brought. I bet he just
He
brought
says
up
every
something
point as we're
outrageous, and
supposed
we're
to
just
know.
magically to know what he's talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Which is a lot of what these people do. They put some phantom out and expect the audience to just gobble it up, and a lot of people just do, because they think, "Oh, this
Well,
guy
yeah, a million views, yeah.
looks like an authority on the thing, or he wouldn't make the content, so I'm going to believe him." And that's how insanity and ideology spreads.
Yeah, that's why the comments are like, "Oh, thank you for pointing this out. Oh, male feminist for the win."
Ugh.
All right.
Audiences to expect the woman who's most sexual to be punished. So now they tend to go the other way, sparing sexualized females of punishment. At least
Examples, please.
Yeah, what are we talking
What's-
about?
What is it? Hold on. He's. I
This is
can't
the
follow it.
hypothetical cloud castle that he's talking about.
So Hollywood's no longer punishing beautiful women in older movies.
When's that happened? For being women.
I don't know. I can't think of one.
Back then, it was more. There was more respect for women, right?
I'm trying to think of like contemporary films in like the 60s and 70s that might have done that, but I'm like,
I say he's just
I can't really think of it. Because the old movies back then, I don't remember them being this chaotic.
no, they wouldn't show much of that at all, unless it was like a
No.
B movie or something. Then they'd have like violence and gore. But
Sure. Yeah.
but no, nothing comes to mind.
No.
Punishing women.
It's just the stuff now, maybe.
Maybe
Yeah.
we're all so misogynistic that we can't even see it.
Well, that's clearly.
We just need to pray harder until we can see it.
All right. Well, hopefully there's an
Warrior
example.
State
God
based.
is- to what? These people believe that God is dead.
I
God is
still
not
think
dead.
their god is the Reaper.
Anyway,
longer than we're used.
The Virgin. Me. Virgin. We work with what we have.
But when it's time to punish a woman for any reason in film, they tend to get punished far more severely than men.
They don't just want to see us killed. They want to see us punished.
so wait a second. This
Someone
is
tell me what
So
that is.
one movie.
2012. He actually likes this movie.
Not a good.
Can someone tell me what that is? Because
Wait.
I don't know.
This is Cabin in the Woods.
Okay.
It's a horror deconstruction movie where they're kind of like parodying the tropes of horror movies.
Okay.
I remember the
Okay.
title and the description you just gave, but I never saw it because I don't do well with horror.
Don't worry, I
I
haven't
did
seen it
consider
either. I
it
just
with
know of
watching it with my horror movie friend, but I'm sorry, you were saying?
So he likes the film, but he doesn't like the trope in the film. Is that what he's
I
getting?
don't know, I just say like
Does women get punished more than men? Okay. Is that
so what?
true? I don't think so.
Well, even if it is true, usually when we see bad things happen to women, we feel sympathy for them because it's our natural reaction to want to protect women. So that's a very normal thing. It's a very visceral response from
Maybe
the
for
audience.
you guys.
Well, if you see a child get hurt,
No, I'm just joking.
if you see anyone get
Yeah.
hurt, it's like, whoa. But if you see a child get hurt, or a woman, or a little girl, like, holy crap. that caused you to go, whoa, 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 whoa.
Mhm.
What's happening?
Yeah, and that's a natural reaction. And about the movie is the movie, the story of the movie, punishing women for being women? Because this whole reproduction thing is usually just some exploitation thing by some otherworldly beings or some shit. That's not I wouldn't call that punishment. It's still just exploitation.
I'm still trying to find that trope. Bewildering punishment? The punishment? I don't know.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
I don't know. You can extend it to anybody. That's what's, that's why you care about the character, because they're going through a lot of torment, and you want to see them come out the other side.
I don't get it. I'm not sure what this is. I've never heard of this trope before, but
he's making a lot of shit up. I think
this is his own
Yeah,
thing.
it's just feminism. That's what it basically boils down to.
Yeah.
Take a look at the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
Oh, it's okay. Fine. We'll look at that.
which is credited for helping to popularize the archetype of the so-called final girl. When the boys die,
It's a horror. Everyone gets
Dude,
killed.
why do you watch horror films if they offend you so much?
What you know? What's really great? The smart girl or the smart guy at the end are the last one to die, or the last one, and they might, and you don't know if they're gonna make it, but it's they're gonna die, and they do die. Like you're hoping they survive, because it's been so crazy at that point. Okay, this guy better survive, but at sometimes you want this guy better die. I really want to see this person die because it's been so wild, and you want Jason or Freddy to finally get rid of him. So it really depends on why you watch these films, and
also like how obnoxious the character is.
Oh yeah, do you like the chick? Do you like the guy? Are they a pervert? Were they the obnoxious guy who's warning everyone and no one's listening to him? He's, you should have listened to me. I'm so smart. It's like whatever. Yeah. So there's all kinds of reasons why you watch these things, especially from the late '70s, early '80s, where it just became a fad, and no one takes this stuff dramatically or as a serious form of drama. So to complain that a slasher flick has violence in it, specifically to one gender over the other, makes no sense. That's the point of these things. Especially to women, like to young, gorgeous women or teenage women. It makes you go, oh my god, what a waste.
in this film, deaths are largely instantaneous, and the method of death is notably non-invasive. The one exception.
So that was a guy. Let's rewind that.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
When the boys die in this film, their deaths are largely instantaneous, and the method of death is notably non-invasive. The one exception.
I think we've had a lot more different horror slasher flicks over the years that they show it all. So that's probably because of props and budget. So and there's some pretty funny props back in the day when they try to do like the cleaver into the head and how that's done properly. So it really depends on practical effects and money and time. So nowadays we can get away with it because we got CGI. But back then,
yeah, if you watch Saw or like Final Destination, like the guy can go through like a painful death.
Exactly. So is he arguing movies from the 70s and 80s were bad because they show women getting their clothes torn and cut up?
Yes, I guess.
To me, that's part of the show. Having sexual tension plus nudity plus killing is part of what makes those cabin in the woods sort of stories exciting.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's like
Evil Dead was pretty explicit in that already.
Yeah.
Well, it's always interesting. It's like, oh well, you know, women are strong and powerful, but oh my god, they're always being tortured and killed, and I'm just like, okay, so they're not strong, I guess, right?
I don't. Here's Joe Crazy. Wrong. Have you never seen a slasher movie? I'm pretty sure the body count is mostly men. It's mostly young teenagers that are horny and stupid. But yeah, mostly men, I think.
Yeah, they kind of horror movies are kind of act as morality tales in many respects, like especially like earlier horror movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, people get punished
There's
for
also
doing
the-
stupid things.
There's also that weird movie, the
being
Human
unattended.
Centipede. You ever seen that?
I've avoided those. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ew.
I need to watch it. I'm gonna go down that road.
No.
You don't want to go down that road.
You know, okay.
There's human centipedes down that road. You don't want that.
All right, let's go.
Exception is the guy in the wheelchair, Franklin, who did indeed get gutted by the chainsaw, which makes you think that it would invalidate my point, but what's perhaps worthy of note is that he was the most emasculated male in the group. I don't think that's an accident. By contrast, when the girls die, they're chased down, dragged, strung up, made to watch the torture of others in anticipation of their own gruesome demises. Their deaths are torturous affairs, prolonged and agonized. The final girl's very survival is a form of prolonged torture, whether she's a good girl or not. So no, I'm not going to talk about the punishment of bad girls in cinema like that's the only kind of girl that cinema likes to punish. It's girls, period.
No.
Are they being punished for being women? Is that the intent of whoever makes it or the perpetrator? Because I don't see that.
So it doesn't matter what the woman did, just they should just never be punished or anything, I guess. No consequences.
Yeah, that
really
comes
sure
from a very...
This
I
is
think
strange.
he just doesn't want to see women being harmed.
I don't. Yeah, because when you see women running away for their life, you're like, oh my god, that's scary. I wish I could help her because she is in danger, and that's the maybe that's instinctive. I don't know, but that's a good image. It's a good image to have in a horror film, which is designed to make you feel scared. And then you say at the back of your head, oh, if I was in this scenario, I'd get the hell out of there. I would, take all the weapons and whatever and just run. Like all these things in your head that you wish you could do to help these people, because that's what people do. No one's going, at least seriously, going to a slasher flick saying, yeah, I want to see some bodies. No, it's I'm going to have a good time with my friends. Obviously, we're going to get off on the horror element and laugh.
Yeah, I just want to be scared.
Maybe the effects are so bad we can laugh about them.
Yeah, exactly. So, but these are
let
natural
the bodies to the floor, baby.
Yeah, these are natural things to go with. Like when you date a girl and she likes slasher flicks, you go see a movie, you go for her sake, not because you personally like that. But even if you do, fine, that's great. But you go to keep her entertained. She's having a good time, and she's laughing at all the jokes, at all the silly things, because she's seen them so many times. She knows the patterns, and she goes, oh, this is silly. This is dumb. Ha ha, this guy died. They people who like these things enjoy the patterns. So I just don't think this guy likes slasher flicks. That's what it comes down to. He doesn't understand.
Yeah, how is this in all cinema though? Yeah, that's another question. Like all films, really? He's just cherry picking.
It's a dumb. It's like someone who doesn't like fantasy starts complaining. Oh, there's all these wizards and dragons. It's all it is, man. It's like, no, excuse me.
The emasculated man. I love that.
That was retarded. That was, come on. He's in a wheelchair. He's emasculated. It's like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah. What the fuck? So any man with a disability is somehow emasculated. Okay.
It's possible in the film there are some elements, but he doesn't explain it at all. He doesn't showcase it. And you're like, dude.
No, he just women good, men bad. That's his take as a man.
I don't get it. Anyway, this is a minute left. I don't know what's left because he's already said his top 5. So hopefully it's just Patreon crap. Let's find out.
Patreon.
So, There you have it, the top 5 most annoyingly sexist tropes in cinema.
Annoyingly sexist. Okay.
This video made me
White
sad.
knight feminist.
So female sexist, not male sexist. You can't have male sexism. That doesn't exist.
No, that doesn't. No. Again, he says, "Oh well, it doesn't matter if the woman's bad or not. It shouldn't just be punished." It's like, okay, why is it when the man's bad he gets punished?
And it's also the presentation is also really bad.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
How to get 1 million? What's dislike ratio here?
Let me see. It is 84,000 to 2.3 thousand.
Two things. So tomorrow I was supposed to go to a writer's group and then my friend's house right after. But my friend isn't going to the writer's group, so I don't have a ride from there. But would you possibly be able to just meet at the freeway entrance? Probably around like 12:30ish, most likely.
12:30?
Yeah. And also probably wondering if you're going to work tonight, where she can take Dibble.
I can take my car, or she needs to take Dibble. That's fine.
Thank you.
Okay.
Everything all right, Dunn?
Okay.
Can I get some fries and a
I
Coke?
just,
No, okay, cool. That was an interesting
I
conversation.
don't know what's going on anymore. Welcome to the Smudcast, folks.
oh, sorry, I thought I muted myself. Dang, wrong thing.
No, we heard it.
So, oh, whoops,
Yeah, push to talk,
I'm
Doug.
very
Push
sorry.
to
I thought I
We
muted
didn't
myself. Have it.
I was like, hey, it's important business. I don't want to
Yeah.
interrupt that.
people got to go places, man. What are you doing on this podcast? What's going on?
Yeah, if bears can drive and
Well,
and do a smudcast.
Bears is an anomaly. Let's just say, screaming at people, driving a truck. Holy jeez, man! Making memes while he's in the truck. I don't know how he does that, but okay. Anyway.
Oh wow, that's a good point. Yeah.
30 seconds. Let's go.
Yeah, so
Not gonna lie, but I don't want to leave you hanging. I don't want to leave you with the impression that there's nobody in Hollywood who can make a film that assumes that men and women are both human beings worthy of equal treatment. So we're gonna end on
Worthy of equal treatment. Okay.
pathetic.
What did he say before all this crap? No male sexism exists, I guess. But we're equal, right?
So we shouldn't even have the term sexism if we're all equal.
Yeah. Oh, this guy, man. No wonder he went off the rocks.
It's
in
just
the later years.
women.
What's he want? What's his when would he be appeased? What would be his utopia of where women and men are equal in media, in movies? Or would that be? As he seems to watch horror movies for the most part. Does everybody have to be
He
killed
also
equally?
watches. He's also a dinosaur fan. He even has his thing of Saurian cinema, and he says that the Lost World is all about colonialism.
What the fuck?
Oh my god.
I would not trust this guy as far as I can throw him. He's just pandering to
Exactly. These are movies
he's pandering
that
to
people
feminist.
enjoy.
He's just pandering to feminist delusions.
It's like, go join a feminist group then.
Yeah,
They hate movies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This movie has women,
but then
and they
don't be
die.
surprised if he's doing the stuff he's preaching against.
Women die in this movie, and that's
No,
bad.
I'm not.
Women
Vibe
shouldn't
he's
die in
giving
movies,
off, I
okay?
really don't like that.
Women should be strong and the hero and the heroine and all the things. They should be all the things in the movie. All the things I like in a movie.
Yeah. They're strong, but they should never face difficulty. But they're strong.
Yeah. They can endure so much, but why are you hurting women? What?
Yeah, I know. This is what a big brain.
Oh, we want
galaxy
equal
thing.
treatment, but don't hurt us.
Yeah. They're just as
We
strong as
also
men.
want to fight in the front lines in war while we're pregnant, but don't hurt us.
Yeah, it's like why is there so much scenes of women running away from danger and evading fear and their lives at stake? Why are the men dying instantly? That's not fair. Like, what? You want less scenes
why are
with women?
Attempting to get away from the killer?
Yeah, the
What,
women
you
are
want
smart.
them to be with the killer?
Yeah, they're running away. They're smarter than the men. The men are dumb and die instantly. No. We need.
Yeah, some movies, I think the men try to fight the monster and the women run away. But no, we can't do that anymore. Because that's displaying women in a bad light. So they all need to die.
I don't understand. I don't get it. Yeah. Anyway, it's fine. Whatever.
A different note. So enjoy.
Okay, that's enough.
That's what's that movie?
It's Ghostbusters?
I don't care.
Oh no, that's the woman from Ghostbusters.
No, these are old. This is an old movie.
Yeah, I watched it with my mom.
Oh, and just looked like that.
Is that that's Bette Midler?
Yeah.
Yes, that's her.
Huh.
I'm surprised he knows this shit, which I imagine he is just surrounded by women and they watch this shit with him. Can we take away his guy card
She's
status?
kind of
like, who?
Yes.
What is this? Like, come on, dude.
Yeah, look, you're not gonna get any women with this video, okay?
I have
don't care
met
how many
heterosexual men who are more feminine, or less feminine rather than this guy. Like, so this, what was I trying to say? I've met more creative men that come across as homosexuals, but aren't, than this guy comes across as some crazy white knight. He is just won't stop talking about women.
Not even gay men that I know, like, are this white knighty. Like
this.
What the hell?
I don't get it.
Sounds desperate.
Something's weird. Something's up with this guy.
I think you're right, Wes. He's doing the raping behind the scenes. He's got that rape face.
Anyway, I want to get this over. This was so stupid.
Why are you running?
Why am I running?
Why are you running?
Why are you running from me? Okay.
Because you're a disgusting pervert and I don't like you.
Let's see what we got for stream memes. Oh, we got some stream memes. Okay. Here is. Oh, this is a new one. I don't know this person's name. Aoi Kageona. Kageona? Dunn real. What? What the hell is this? Dunn
right now?
I guess. What is happening?
I don't know.
Someone is purifying some evil creature? I don't know what Dunn is doing here.
Oh, that's the fan noises.
Oh, the fan
wind noises.
Okay.
He's summoning some sort of creature. Like, what's going on? Here's Mateus. Omega Otter had enough. Those tropes are sexist. No. Here is Bearserker. Vince Vaughn and Kevin James aren't handsome enough to land hot women. And here are hot women with and without makeup.
Yeah, that can be true.
I see nothing wrong with either photo. I'm not really getting turned off by either.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm wondering who this person is actually.
Yeah, no, she's got really nice bone structure, nice nose, nice lips, cool eyebrows. Look at those eyebrows; those are killer eyebrows. Natural hair color too. I prefer a lot more than the stupid blonde. I don't like that fake blonde.
That would be Kesha, actually.
Really?
That's Kesha?
Shit. Yeah, that's Kesha.
What the fuck? Okay.
She looks so much better with all that crap on her face.
I knew she looked way different without the makeup, but
anyway, stop ogling women.
Wow.
Stop it. Stop ogling women. All right. Rigby. Smud turning into Mario as he says, let's go.
I swear, you did sound like Mario when you said that.
Let's
I was gonna
go.
say it, but I don't.
What is happening?
Me, Mario.
This is
Why
kind
is
of
he stuck in the ground?
yeah, creepy Minecraft. What the hell is going on in this GIF?
That's funny. That guy looks like a young Pedro Pascal.
His face is all being
That's a
destroyed.
goal.
Yeah. All right. Bearserker. Captain America says, never date a female under 18 or over 30. Ah. Minors belong in the playground. Over 30 years belong in the animal shelter picking out their next fur baby. Oh.
Oh.
You know, girls,
These are really good PSAs.
women do like those pets that they could hug and cuddle that have fur. That is true.
I like these
Yes.
Captain America PSAs. They do make sense for once.
Yeah.
Meow meow. That's the sounds they make.
Here's Pokaleffi. To truly break a trope, you have first master the trope. Observe the trope. Of course, you have to say it in Dio's voice. So,
Thank you. That's awesome.
it is I, Wisp.
It's perfect because your avatar.
I let you know if and when I ever have watched JoJo.
Of course, this is the obligatory Dio GIF. You have to do that one.
Yeah, your head is perfect. Like, look how it's.
Yeah.
It's just it. Look, it's the wisp. It matches. The colors matched.
Here's.
Are you playing a game, Dio?
Here, I hope not. Here's Smud performing a soothing limit breaker on right. On right? After today's cast. Okay. This is not a limit breaker.
Wait, what did I do?
This is Mortal Kombat, I think.
Fatality.
Smud, why you bullying me?
I think the limit break in Final Fantasy X was a lot more sensual than this. So, getting rid of this problematic trope. Oh, we got Revy.
What, smoking?
Well, before or after she just blew it away, I have no idea. Keep this empowering trope more like overpowering, if I had to be honest.
Oh,
what is happening here?
Oh no.
Jesus.
Is this a guy or a woman?
I don't even want to know.
Let's go with guys and be generous.
I like when the ladies are spectacles. Thanks, Cold Crash, for helping me realize it. The house was the old guy's wife at one point. Wow. What is that?
Oh, is this Monster House?
Yeah, that's Monster House. Basically, it's the soul of his dead wife. It has animated the house and is killing kids because she has always hated kids.
Oh, cool.
Huh.
There we go.
I forgot about that.
Let me help with your limit break, stupid Lulu bitch.
Oh, he said it. He said.
Didn't you guys ever play Final Fantasy X? Don't you remember the limit break? Okay, guys, watch any playthrough of Final Fantasy X with Lulu in the party and someone doing a limit break, and you see what those analog sticks are doing. Like, what does that remind you of? Anyway, Gorgeous Rex, Tumblr, a love story. What? The epic story of the Blue Sea, the White Whale, and a Dark Soul. Oh my God.
Ethan Hawke, Donald Sutherland, Will I Am Hurt.
Oh boy. Hearing Wisp talk about a cloud castle. Oh wow.
Oh God. That seems to be the magical world where these people seem to live in.
Yeah, it's all pastels and furry animals.
And Care Bears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop the hammering. It's a fan, it's a car, it's a no, it's a hammer. He's building a box, all right? Leave him alone. Gorgeous Rex. Cold Crash.
No, that's the fact I'm in the basement.
Women in films tend to get punished more than men. Saving Private Ryan. Oh my god.
I know, it's so retarded.
Here's Rigby. I guess this game is sexist then. Slasher game where you have to preserve the last girl to keep some of your perks. You can choose not to though. Wow, what is that? What game?
The one on the bottom or the one on the top?
This is the one right after the sentence I just read out.
I don't know.
Whoa, what
Probably
was
a
that?
Resident Evil game.
Did you just blow into a tuba?
What was that? Yeah. Sounds like someone farted.
No, it's like someone just hit it like a...
No, that's because I'm in the basement, and I think people are just moving around upstairs. I have a big echoey basement.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Like a chair or something. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what game that is.
It's not Dead Space, is it?
No, I don't think.
I know what the bottom picture. I know what the picture. I know what the picture underneath it is, but I don't know what the picture above it is.
Okay, so men don't get horrifying, painful deaths like the ladies do. I guess this never existed. And what is that? Done.
That is Tusk. So essentially, Tusk is the story of this jerky shock jock type guy who goes to this backwoods area of Canada, and this insane person starts cutting chunks off of him with the intent to turn him into a walrus.
Okay.
So that's what he does.
That's the game?
So, no, that's a movie.
It looks like a movie.
Holy crap.
It is a movie. Basically, like, he cuts off his legs and uses his legs uses this guy's own legs as the walrus tusks, and takes out his teeth, cuts off his legs, and puts him in a walrus suit made of walrus skins. And psychologically conditions him into becoming a walrus. He even removes his tongue and stuff and just turns him into a walrus. And at the end, the guy just puts him. They can't really do anything to rehabilitate the guy, so they just put the guy in a zoo, still in the walrus suit.
Thanks, Dunn.
That's an image.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I've only watched reviews of this movie. I've never actually seen it. I just know exactly what happens in it.
But yeah, women get more painful deaths, I guess.
Here's
yeah. Tusk says hi. Tusk says hi, mother sucker.
Dunn's desk.
Oh, I think they shot a Stargates episode in that airport.
Really?
That's an airport?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Here is Rigby
looks
again.
like it.
Smud cutting up Crash's guy card. Yeah, dude. Seriously. Grow a pair. grow a pair of hemispheres in your balls and your brain.
Mm-hmm.
You need both.
So 2 hemispheres.
Yeah.
No,
Bearserker.
2 pairs of hemispheres.
I don't know.
No, wait, that also makes no sense. What the fuck are you talking about? Half spheres?
No, what?
Develop both a brain and a set of testicles. Basically, have some measure of testosterone.
Yes,
I don't know.
At least some balls. Come on.
I don't know what mute T means, and at this point, I'm too afraid to ask. Here's Rigby.
Was that one done?
Press the wrong button. I'm sorry. Usually my mic has my usual mic has a mute button on it, but I'm using my camera mic, which doesn't have one.
All right.
And I just randomly came downstairs.
Here's Rigby. Is this what mute means, Dunn? This. Oh boy.
Dunn, how many people have made memes about your mic?
Here's Mike Testa again.
A few.
You said muscle box, yes, Wisp?
Maybe.
What is
Muscle box?
What is Mike? What are you doing?
Kevin James needs
What is-
anchor arms.
What is going on? Gorgeous Rex. The villain in this film kills women, so this film is anti-woman.
Is that
Who
the
would
guy?
want to be saved by that guy?
Is that the YouTuber?
No.
No, that's some
Okay.
random.
It's a meme.
That's some
Oh,
random.
okay, I was
cuck.
like, God, what the heck?
This is a guy in Toronto, probably.
I guess, yeah, Thanos would be anti-woman because he killed half of the women in the universe.
It doesn't matter what temperature it is in Toronto,
No,
time of year. All these metrosexual guys have to wear a scarf. They just have to. Could be 35.
Is that just pretend gay?
I don't know.
Dude, I
never
like wearing
asked.
scarves, but not on a hot day. Come
No,
on.
no. I was at the High Park last week, and there was a bunch of guys wearing scarves, and they did not look gay. They just looked dressed metrosexual. So
From what when there was a South Park episode about that, and including this example here, metrosexual just looks gay. It just looks how gay men dress put on non-gay men. So the gay men somehow talk the non-gay men into dressing as if gay.
yeah, I don't get it either. I have no idea. Couldn't tell you.
Why would you do that? Or rather, I understand why the gay men would do that.
Yeah,
But
sure.
I don't understand why the non-gay men would fall for it.
See, I like scarves in general, like for the fall and winter months, but not scarves, like winter scarves all year round, or just scarves in general. It's weird.
Yeah, but also in combination with the rest of this look.
I don't get it.
It's just everything
Like,
looks wrong.
You have a scarf when your neck is cold, but this guy is clearly not cold if he has a short shirt on and a midriff.
But hairdo, problem
The
glasses.
shirt's weird, too. Why does it have a large V-neck?
Yeah, the V-neck
Beard
is
on it. Yeah, and then the low cut shirt.
very confusing.
This looks gay.
Here's Mateus. Hey, Mateus. Smud, I invented the time machine and I will visit the future. 2 million years? Oh my god. Nani? Mateus, what did you see in the future? The future is bad. What the hell is that?
A reference to?
What is that?
That's what's that guy called? The monster we just saw earlier?
Oh, really?
The guy who's like so morbidly obese.
Yeah, the
Creature of indeterminate gender or species.
All right.
Oh, what the
Rob
hell?
Stark non-invasively getting stabbed to death by Roose Bolton. Colorized. Oh. Dunn's basement. Oh. What is that? This is how he
The
writes,
sewer.
guys. He needs to be in his basement to write. That's how it works. He's the
With no desk.
the creepiest looking place you can imagine. Dark, pitch dark. Yeah. And the last one, Mike Testa. Just a painless death. Women most affected. Oh no.
Oh boy, that's really graphic. Oh man.
Yeah,
Thanks, Mike Testa.
But I guess he's smiling, so it's not that painful, right?
Uh-huh.
What even is that from?
Yeah, where is this? I have no idea.
What even is that from? That looks like that looks like something out of a cell, I guess. But I guess looks
I could not say.
weird. The color palette's like something out of Doom.
Is the blood looks like Kool-Aid.
That looks like Kool-Aid, really?
If you look at his shirt, like it's dyed in Kool-Aid or something, and then the face, I have no idea, but everything else is kind of gory, so who knows?
I'm not gonna question what you do.
With my Kool-Aid?
You went to Kool-Aid. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wouldst thou like some Kool-Aid, sir? This looks like coagulated blood I would see on Fear Factor. Why is this here?
So here's a super chat, also a donation I skipped from Tyler Preston. Do apologize. Let me go find it. I find this hysterical that this guy is bitching about fat women being crass in movies when currently in Marvel Comics there's this movement of allowing women to be ugly, specifically with She-Hulk. That's a good point.
Is there? Wow.
Yeah, because they will draw the ugliest women and say this is beautiful, and then this guy's complaining, what's wrong? What's up with these ugly women being crass? Is there any consistent narrative with these people?
No.
They never name what they actually want. They only say this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, but then nothing's left that you could do.
Yeah,
And they're not saying what it is they would want.
No, because it's all
They're
based on
not
feelings.
giving an example.
They feel this one day, they feel another the next day.
Yeah, and when they actually make something, when they actually make a comic or something, the female characters they portray are just psychopaths. They're villains.
Like Steven Universe.
Oh god.
Oh god. Yeah, that or Riri Williams or whatever else you can come up with.
So this
Captain
guy,
Marvel. It's all villains.
Yeah.
These people only write villains.
So this guy, I think we can do another video of his again because we're not sick of him yet. He's absolutely bonkers. He is trying very hard to fit in with whomever, and his feminist agenda is hilarious. It makes me laugh. So we can keep going with him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's not too long. It's
Yeah,
not too long even.
Exactly. Yeah. So thanks for the recommendation, whoever gave it.
Me, you're welcome.
It was you. This was you, Dunn. Yeah.
Yeah, I like this guy's hilariously bad.
Yeah, no, this is good. I like this guy. So yeah, thank you. Keep it coming, guys. More recommendations always are good, and give our mods something to chew on. So as well as the rest of us to decide whether we want to come on the Smudcast and talk, because not everyone wants to come on, even though they're busy or not busy, depending on their lifestyle. But 7 minutes, not a problem. And thank God it wasn't about Jurassic Park. So that's a good thing in my book.
Oh, we need to do the Lost World video. It really would have to be a multi-parter since it's 52 minutes long.
Oh god.
It's all about the Lost World and colonialism. Not Jurassic Park, the Lost World. It's the Lost World and its many adaptations.
How?
All right, guys. Well, thanks a lot for the coming with us on this journey of insanity. I'm going to leave my comment in his comment section. I'm going to post it on Twitter in case you guys want to see it. I don't know if he has me shadow banned. I don't think he cares or even knows about me. That's fine too. I don't care. So thanks a lot. Have yourself a great evening or morning wherever you are in the world, and we'll talk to you real soon.